I think, as we all know, we came here on April 8th to introduce ourselves. It was a great meeting for all of us. But I think it was important to get the ball rolling. We had to start somewhere. And, what we did is we came and we understood that you guys had a lot of questions and concerns. And what we found is that the town of Milford is incredibly astute, because all of your concerns were spot on and things that we think about every day. We started and we listened. And, here's what we heard. How are we going to manage traffic? Very important. Obviously for all of us, we want to make sure that getting around, town is not a big pain in the butt, and that people can not only get to our facility, but get to where they need to get to, morning, noon, and night, when you got to get to work on time and things like that. No one wants to be sitting in traffic. So it was very important that we studied and came up with a solution as to how we're going to manage traffic. How we deal with water. The casino's large facility, it's going to take tons of water. And I think, the estimates that we had for the casino originally were much greater than what this casino will be. I think a lot of people were looking at Foxwoods, and just for those of you who don't know, Foxwoods is an 8.5 million square foot building, and what I'm going to present to you today is a 660,000 square foot building. So certainly much smaller, and thereby much less demand for water. And I think what we found is there's a lot of capacity to handle our water, but obviously we're going to invest in that infrastructure and make that better. Same thing with sewer. We looked around and looked at the sewer systems and found that there were some, homes and families that had, somewhat inadequate sewer services right now. We said, hey, how can we not only, develop these things that protect us and make sure that our facility operates, but how can we go beyond that and do things that are meaningful for the community so that your sewer systems can be better? So if we can come up with some infrastructure and invest in sewer infrastructure, yes, it'll satisfy what we need, but hopefully it'll make some of your situations much better. And I think we have a solution that'll do that. And then what will this building look like? Let's just plunk some big giant glass skyscraper right down in the middle of Milford, right? That'd be beautiful. No, absolutely we didn't want anything like that. We had to have something, like I said earlier, that looked like it had been here forever, that looked like it had been here for 100 years, that represented the history and the culture and all the thought that goes into a great New England building. We had to do that, and fortunately we were able to find the right people to help us get there. And then, have we considered wetlands? Absolutely. And one of the great things you'll find in this facility is we have almost 200 acres that we're building on. 10% of it will have our building. We went to great lengths to make sure that we used as little of the land as possible so that we could preserve those wonderful wetlands, so that we have outdoor adventures. And we're going to have one of the first indoor-outdoor facilities that there is in this business, where people can come in and, yes, enjoy themselves inside, but also have plenty of recreational activities, whether it's hiking, biking, walking, zip lining, you name it. We're going to have wonderful things to do outdoors, and we're going to absolutely preserve the wetlands and have beautiful views and beautiful experiences as people come and enjoy, hopefully, our site. And then what will happen to property values and crime and things like that? My experience is if you have a thriving community, property values go up. I moved to Vegas when casinos started to grow. I moved to Vegas 5 years ago because I was CEO of another company that was based there, so I'm very happy to be back here. But I saw property values grow alongside casinos. I've been in places like Baton Rouge and other areas that have had very affluent home sites next to casinos. So if you have a facility that makes sense and it makes the economy thrive, and you're creating good jobs and people are learning and being educated and you're getting tourism, that'll increase property values. So our hope is absolutely property values would increase. And because hopefully there's this great economic benefit to what we're doing, property taxes will go down. So imagine that the value of your house goes up and your taxes can actually go down, which is pretty much the opposite of everything I've experienced since owning a home. And then will there be more crime? Same thing. If you're in a thriving economic community, the crime rate goes down. And we spend a lot of time and a lot of money, investing to make sure that goes right. So in our facility, we'll work with the local police department and security. We'll have probably a substation, police station in our facility, and do everything we can to make sure that the surrounding community is safe. There's one general rule in our business: your property's got to be clean, safe, and fun. If you're not that, get out of the business. So we absolutely we'll do everything we can, and it's been our experience in our community that the crime around our facility has been very good. And where are the areas that we see crime in Connecticut? Not so much in our area. It's those inner cities that have economic problems, Bridgeport, Hartford, New Haven. That's where you see crime, not in the thriving communities. So we think we can solve these issues. So what did we do? We sat and we listened to all these things, and we said, we're going to come back to you guys in 6 to 8 weeks, and it's going to be no harm, no foul. We're either going to have an answer that we think makes sense, or if we don't, we're going to say, look, we really enjoyed being part of this, and we're going to move on. Fortunately for us, and fortunately for all of us, I think we've come up with something that makes sense. Okay, what was the first thing we had to do? We had to assemble a great team. You know, you got to have the right people on the bus to get to where you want to go. And I think we've done that. Obviously, you know, us as operators, we think, you know, we all have Massachusetts roots. You know, myself and David Nunes, who introduced me to this project originally, grew up in this area. You know, we really feel like we understand what's needed here. Obviously, you know, at Foxwoods, being an operator in this community for over 20 years, a lot of our customer base comes from right here. So, you know, even though it's happening in Connecticut right now and not Massachusetts, and we hope to change that, we see and feel what the customers of this area want, and we think we know that. The other thing I want to point out is we're Foxwoods, Massachusetts, okay? And we thought a lot about the name, and we thought a lot about the logo having the state, because that's what this is all about, okay? We're not sitting here saying, hey, we got something that's beautiful, that's from some foreign land, that even though you've never seen it before, you're going to love it. No. That's not what this is about. This is about Massachusetts first, the community first, the history first, the culture first, and everything else is based on that, not vice versa. Has to be that way. And then with us, we were very lucky to be introduced to Robert Allen Law, Bob Allen, who's been a great partner for ours in this community for many years. A wonderful architectural firm, CBT. These people are spectacular. They are going to blow you away. David Hitchcock and his team are going to be here today. I think you're going to be really astounded at what they've come up with. You know, these are people that design all over the world, but again, they have these Boston roots, and everyone got really excited about the fact that this project's here, and we finally get to do something for our hometown. I think you're going to be really astounded at what you've seen. Tetra Tech, I can't tell you how bright this firm is. Sean Reardon, he's going to be here presenting after me. All of the issues that you guys are worried about on a civil engineering standpoint, this guy's lived them for 3 years. He knows them. He's going to answer all your questions. You know, we're here to be detailed. This is not about pretty pictures today. This is about blood and guts, rolling up the sleeves. And I got a lot of confidence in this guy. I think you're going to love him. And with them, we have very lucky to have CRGA landscape architects, and you know, again, world-class landscape architectural firm. You talk about how important is the outside. The outside is as important as the inside, and it was very important for us to get this team on board. Perini, how do you not know Perini? The best construction firm in the world. I've worked with them my whole life. If I could get them to build my house, I would, but I'd probably be a little bit more than I want to spend. But this is by far the best firm right here in Framingham. They've been around forever, second to none, and the beauty is they know casino development better than any construction firm out there. They own Las Vegas, and again, extremely ecstatic on their behalf to work in Massachusetts. And then our feasibility analyst. Now, here's the one interesting thing. You can't find a casino feasibility expert here in Massachusetts because we don't have gaming yet, right? So it wouldn't exist. So yes, they are from Vegas, but the gentleman who runs them, Steve Galloway, is from right here in Massachusetts and graduated BC, so we got that covered. So we feel like we have a great team that is excellent at what they do, but really, really understands, you know, the Massachusetts area. Okay, so what did we do since last we talked to you, right? We had a lot of work to do, as we all recognize. We had over a dozen meetings with over 50 people. We met with people at the local, state, and federal levels as best we could. We wanted to cover, obviously, water, sewer, all the things that have to do with police chief, fire chief, town consultants, National Grid, MassDOT. And we met with the Federal Highway Administration because we're going to get into this, but everyone wants to know how we access this great facility, and we're going to have the ability to do that. And through all these meetings and all the discussions we had, the really, really positive thing is there was nothing that came out of it that said, hey, here's something that's going to prevent you from what you want to accomplish. So in terms of getting people to our site, getting water to our site, getting the sewage figured out, moving the transmission lines, all of that is incredibly doable, makes sense. We can do it in a way that, again, not only makes sense for our facility, but makes sense for the people of the community. Because we said, no. It's not just enough to do something that allows us to build this building. We got to make this a better place to live for the people of Milford. They deserve that, okay? They need that. And that was our approach, and the beauty is through all of these meetings and all of these dates, and I promise you this team worked tirelessly because we want this thing so bad. We came away with great results. We're in the process of finalizing it. Obviously, there's always more work to do on a development project, but I think what you're going to hear today is we're in great position to do what we want to do. Obviously, it was very important that we establish a local presence because we wanted this to be a collaborative effort. Okay, we wanted this to be interactive, not for us, again, to dictate, for you to come in, teach us what this town wants, tell us what your needs are. You're living it every day. I think that it's very important that if you want to understand a community and you want to be part of a community, you have to be there. There's no absentee ownership in this world. There's no absentee manorship that ever works. It always, always, always fails, because if you're not there, you don't see the nuances. You can't feel it. You can't touch it. You can't break bread with people. It's very important that we did that. So we opened our storefront just as soon as we could right on Main Street, and we engaged the community. That gentleman there in the yellow jacket, hopefully you all know him, is Alan Kronberg. We hired Alan, who obviously is also from the Massachusetts area, although he wasn't born here, but certainly lived here through most of his life. Alan, I think hopefully all of you met him. If you haven't, you're doing yourself a tremendous disservice because he'll usually buy you a drink. But Alan's been meeting with everybody and talking to everybody, and it's been great to have him here working with the community. And obviously we have our own website so that people can plug in and see what's going on a daily basis. We did incredibly detailed project planning from resource area inventory, which again is all about wetlands and how we can work with you on those things. We did traffic impact studies, archaeological historical surveys, water, sewer, architectural plans and renderings, site plans, stormwater management report, landscape concepts. We're going to be here a little bit tonight, but we're going to go through all of these things because it's very important for you to know how much work went into this, and what we're putting in front of you is something that can really, really happen. It's not a picture on a screen. It's something that's been thought through, and it's something that if we all work together, we can make happen in a very timely standpoint. There's a lot of data and a lot of research and a lot of hard work that went into what I think will be the pretty pictures that you'll see tonight. Obviously, we had some things we had to consider. Great history here in Milford, tremendous history. Obviously, the pink granite is something that's important to this community. The pink granite will be right on the front of our building. Okay, we want to tell everybody this is Milford. This is a building that's spawned from Milford. So very important that we understood that. Obviously, great history in the construction business. Very proud. You should all be very proud, and your leaders should be very proud of how fiscally responsible this community is. This is a community that earns its paycheck and pays its bills. It's incredible, in today's day and age. I'm really, really impressed and excited about the pride that people have in their community and the fact that they run a very tight ship on a financial standpoint. It's going to make it very easy to work with you guys. What we're going to do is we're going to say, hey, we're going to take this great, budget that you have. We're going to give you more so that we can enhance things. We can enhance the school systems. We can enhance the playgrounds. We can give you more so that you can grow more. Money should be in this town's hands because it'll use it correctly, okay? We put a lot of money in a lot of people's hands that waste it. And that's why this United States is in the situation that it's in now. If the U.S. ran its ship like Milford runs its ship, we'd be in an unbelievably great spot, and foreign countries wouldn't be kicking our butt the way they are. So I absolutely want money in this town's hands. I'd rather have it in your hands than anyone else's. Proud heritage, just walk up and down the streets. That's why you're all here tonight. You're all here tonight because you're proud of this community. This is a family-oriented community. You have great values. And we're going to make sure that those values are preserved in everything that we do. Okay, here's what we found. Here's the good news. We found that we can solve the problems that we laid out. We can solve the traffic problems. We can minimize the impact on wetlands, actually make them beautiful, make them an attraction. We can meet the water demands very easily. Again, enhance them. We can meet the sewer demands, make it better for people. And we can win a gaming license. We can win this license. This is the right place to have this casino. It's going to happen. People in this community are gaming already. They're gaming at Foxwoods. They'll be gaming here, whether it's here, Everett, Suffolk. Might as well be here because we can control it, we can do it right, and we can do it in a way that makes sense for Massachusetts. We will create the world-class resort that we're talking about. We will do it. We'll make it happen. okay, we got to do something that obviously meets the expectations of the community. And we spent a lot of time thinking about what is Milford, that respects the environment and the landscape, very important to us, and reflects our New England heritage. Okay, this is every person of this team, this was their lives. Actually, up there in the right-hand corner is Gloucester. I threw that in. But that's what, in my mind, Massachusetts is all about. You know, it's about stone walls. It's about seaports and fishing. It's about beautiful landscapes. It's about great education. It's about technology. It's about going to a Sox game on a Sunday, and hopefully they win. It's about seeing the Bruins a little bit later than usual tonight because you want to be here. But these are all the things that we see and feel and baked into this facility. What's our program? Just so people don't get scared. As I mentioned, it's 660,000 square feet. Yes, we'll have a gaming facility. We'll have over 4,000 slots and 175 table games. We'll have a 350-room hotel, not a 2,000-room hotel, 350 beautiful room hotel. We'll have at least 5 wonderful restaurants. Jens Baca, who heads our food and beverage departments here tonight, the guy is unbelievable when it comes to food. This place is great too, by the way. You guys have unbelievable pizza and great Italian, all kinds of wonderful dishes here that we've had since we've been here. But we're going to work with you to make sure that we get great food and beverage facilities. We'll have lounges. We'll have a ballroom that can have group meetings, weddings, things of that nature. Again, this is meant to be a lot more than just a casino. We'll have great shops, hopefully. And structured parking, you know, people said, hey, you get all this land, just pave it and put a parking, and people love outdoor parking. No way. We can't do that. We're going to build structured parking that's in brightly lit and easy-to-use garages so that we make sure we use as little of the land as possible. So again, just phase 1, 600,000 square feet, 660. If we get to a phase 2, it would be another 400, all in $1 million, you know, as opposed to over $8 million at Foxwoods. And if you see if you go back one, you see in the upper right-hand corner, that's a little bit of a teaser as to what you're going to be looking at. Doesn't look much like a normal Vegas-style casino, does it? That's all based on unbelievably astute design on New England architecture. What makes sense here? That could be a campus at MIT.